IVM.
कृपया ध्यान दीजिए, the language used on the podcast may not be fit for consumption. We warn you, tread carefully. But listen yaar, don't be so conservative. Okay, Cyrus here. For some reason, I have to introduce myself because this show is getting no ratings. 3 people listen. My mother has stopped. She said, I can't understand you talk too fast. And fair enough. But I've got a sad story I want to talk about right in the beginning before I bring 2 fighters on board. And fighting is the issue here. There's an evil man called Sunil Jaising, 57, secretary of Nagnath Society, who had a stray dog killed by 3 auto rickshaw friends of his for 3,500 rupees. He's been arrested, and I hope he spends the rest of his life in jail. His fingers and toes are cut off, and he's served vegetarian food. A shout out to Tushar Gogia and former tennis player Meghna Varkaria, who are responsible for catching these guys. This is just killing dogs for no reason and killing animals for no reason. I mean, what kind of society? I understand two-legged people, sometimes because of the hatred between human beings, I can understand. But leave the animals alone, bro. Come on. Enough is enough.
Want to learn something new and have a few minutes to spare? Well, then go for the Traveling Professor's Diary, where I, Siddharth Deshmukh, the Traveling Professor, will help you glean from all the insights that I've gained from wherever I've traveled, learned, taught, and repeated. Join me every Tuesday and Thursday on the IVM Podcast website, app, or wherever you get your podcasts from.
And I've got my 2 fighters here, so don't
Lowest
come after
formers
us.
come to attack dogs.
Lowest formers come. Well, what did the dog do? He was barking. You kill a dog because he barks? I mean, like that, if that's the law, there'll be nothing left.
You kill people for talking. Finished.
But that's our podcast here. Then मैं क्या करेगा उसके बाद? Think about it, यार. Family.
पेट पे लात मत मारो यार.
Please, यार. It may be a big पेट,
माफ
but
करो, माफ करो. पहली बार.
छोटा पैर के साथ. Okay, let me introduce you guys. We have with us Arjun and Somesh. Arjun Chipalkatti, have I pronounced it correctly?
Yes, perfectly.
Or is it more like Chipalkatti?
Chipalkatti.
And Somesh, of course, his surname is astounding because it's the 3rd Kamra in a row we've had. Pranjal was in finance, Kunal is in jail, and Somesh,
He's in his bungalow, yeah.
you are also one of the Kamras.
He's in his bungalow, yeah.
No, your Kunal Kamra's bodyguard, clearly. They send you out to learn MMA fighting to protect him.
Listen, he can't afford me as yet, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, guys, introduce yourselves now. You've started this show about MMA fighting on IVM podcast, and Amit said to plug it, so say it 2-3 times in the podcast. That is IVM podcast, as well as your show. So, our regular listeners are used to our cheapness and the fact that we do all this rubbish, and they have no problem with it because they are like-minded. So we have to not worry.
Superb.
So, please go ahead. What's it called, the podcast?
The Fighting Goat.
Yeah. Goat as in...
GOAT, which stands for the greatest of all time.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. Thanks so much. So sweet of you. Yeah. I'll pause while we do a close-up of myself. Sweet. Yeah. That's so
No, but
nice.
Cyrus, how good does it feel? You know, goat, bakra, goat. You're back.
Oh,
Nice.
shit. I never put that together. Yeah.
Somesh should be hired for PR. Forget this fighting career. You can help my career fight in a way.
So Cyrus is back on the Bakra show.
Yeah, somewhat.
Bakra to the goat.
But this is a good Bakra. That was a stupid one. This is a good one because you're one of the rare findings of, like upper middle class guys who turned to MMA fighting in India. Which firstly we didn't even know there was that much of a market, but it's a really big sport now. So take us back to the beginning. Why, how, what, where, when, and do you wear underwear when fighting? This is one question I always want to ask.
Well, there's a specific underwear called Gem Gold that we wear while fighting.
What is Gem Gold? Hello, I am only Rupa.
Rupa holds your essentials while you're fighting?
Absolutely.
What the hell's going on? And gem, it should be gems, no?
I stop.
At this young age, if it's gem, you need to see someone.
I stop. I can't take this.
Okay, Rupa and Gem, that's what we established so far. Guys, come on, tell us how you got in. I mean, you were telling me offline, Arjun, that you were with Farokh Chotia learning photography. You come from one of your family members is a well-known ad filmmaker. So where did this come from? And give us, the beginning is the most important. How the hell?
So here's the funny thing. Okay, so I've always been a fan. Somesh and I both have been following the sport since about 2004, 2005. I've been a fan of the sport, and you know, just like every regular Indian boy, I watched WWE at home and used to use the same moves.
Which is not quite the same thing as actual content.
Not at all.
contact. Yeah.
Not even kind of close. And the funny thing is, I got started with, I was on a shoot, doing a shoot for a magazine called Spa Mantra. And I was shooting Shilpa Shetty in her house. And that's when I get introduced to Raj Kundra, who's holding a DVD that I recognized 1 kilometer away, because it said The Ultimate Fighter on it. And I went up to him, and classy as he is, he introduced himself, and I spoke to him. And he told me that he's starting an organization of mixed martial arts. And at that point, I'm a photographer. So I went and gave him my card saying, please, I beg you, call me for the advertising. It led into me doing the advertising work for him. And I used to fool around on the microphones backstage anyway. So around 2013, the management then decided to just give me a shot. And I haven't looked back ever since.
That's so
My
awesome.
commentary.
Somesh is making critical comment which I didn't understand.
I said that's awesome.
So are you being sarcastic? You're irritated, or you're being actually supportive?
No, I'm actually being supportive.
So
I'm actually being supportive.
otherwise you're also Rupa because you're supporting him in some way. So Somesh, what's your story? So he got in almost like from the admin side,
Right.
as a guy who's helping organizing the sport, and you.
Right. So, when I was back in college in about 2003-4, I was always very excited about combat sports, and there was nothing moving beyond boxing, kickboxing. That is when I came across a show called Pride FC on Star Sports back then, which was, like a,
Okay,
it was like a no.
Arjun is having an orgasm. Just 1 second. Just say Pride FC again. Let's see how he reacts.
Pride FC.
Online editing at its best. We missed him completely.
Yeah.
That's us. That's our show. We'll get it wrong every time. Sorry.
So once I saw this tournament called Pride FC, it was pretty much like a 400-pound guy facing a 200-pound guy, and they were actually pounding each other.
That's Amit Doshi versus me. That's how we started the podcast.
Jesus.
Yes. That is exactly Amit Doshi versus Cyrus
Yeah,
Broja.
it's almost right. Yeah.
And that's the next episode.
Yeah. But because of poor cardiovascular functioning, it lasted 6 seconds, our fight. But do tell me about yours. So the guy was pounding the other guy, and this is actual contact.
Yes.
This is actual contact, and I did some research, and I was like, wow, this looks crazy, because I was always into boxing, kickboxing as a professional sport, but we never moved beyond a certain point, because bureaucracy. It was 2003-4. It was a good 17 years back.
You're blaming the Manmohan Singh government for this? The lack of taking off of the martial arts in mixed martial art formation is because Manmohan Singh didn't open his mouth and say, I want mixed martial arts.
Why did I feel that was coming somewhere?
Because he said he started blaming the bureaucracy or something. I'm trying to think 2003 and 4. Finally, the Congress has to account for something. Okay, go on.
No, nothing of that sort. But yeah, so what happened at that point of time is that the sport was not really known. It was very, very new, in the West also. And I just did some research. There was nothing happening in India, so I started, kind of learning from YouTube myself. In 2008, I went with this gentleman called Alexander Emelianenko in Russia. He is basically Fedor's brother, one of the greatest mixed martial artists of all time. And I went to Russia. I learned the sport. I learned
Wow. Who funded this?
me myself, and
I.
so
So you told your parents, I'm going to Russia to meet an unpronounceable Alexander something because his brother may be a legend in a sport they've never heard of and in which I might die during practice.
Yeah.
That was one clear. And your father's reaction was, Beta, MBA karo pehla.
that was a reaction, but since I'd gathered up some money, I kind of just went there, lived in these dorms and PGs, and kind of just I just did my stuff. And with the same company, I went.
Oh, so you were learning fighting, or you were learning the sport how to market it?
Both of them.
Wow.
Yeah, both of them. So the company was called M1 Global.
Yes, I remember.
M1 Global. Arjun is saying something. Arjun,
Dude, no, it's so funny when you take that name Fedor. No, if you Google him, he was at one point, till I think 2010, 2012, he was known as one of the most scariest people on earth. The way he walked, it's like the temperature in the room dropped. Is that you used to get chills around him.
Yeah.
The guy
Right.
is the most unassuming, pot-bellied guy who'd come out, but he would whip you senseless.
You're talking about
I got the
Cyrus?
same thing. No, 2013. I remember Mayawati coming for this this first F1 thing in Noida, and I was part of that, and I had that same sensation. She's just, I mean, with due respect, she's a great presence, whether you like it or not. Sebastian Vettel won because, well, some say he was motivated to go in that direction. What, Germany? Why are we going there? She's a lovely lady.
We'll spit
And
my coffee out.
let's get back to Fedor, is it?
Yeah.
Fedor.
Fedor,
You better
yeah,
get it right.
Fedor.
Oof, you don't want to piss him off. Yeah. So Arjun, what is
So,
the connection with Somesh while he's in Russia? Я знаю по-русски. Do you speak Russian?
No. For Somesh, I got to give it to Somesh because Somesh was one of the first people who, you've heard of the UFC. The UFC
Yeah.
is one of the biggest organizations in the world when it comes to mixed martial arts and the most lucrative as well. Somesh was one of the pioneers who became India's first UFC manager and promoted India's first UFC fighter, a guy called Bharat Kandhare, and took him to that world stage. And nobody
Yeah.
else had done that. A lot of people had tried in the past. A lot of people had tried to get inroads, but Somesh made the right contacts, and it's like a big step for the first Indian to be out on the global stage.
So Somesh, how did you source this? I'm thinking this is not like cricket where you go to any village and their word will be out ki ye Praveen Kumar hai, he bowls at 150.
Correct.
How do you source an MMA fighter in a culture which doesn't have it really?
Well, in fact, quite surprisingly, there are a lot of people who are getting into fighting, and this was
No,
maybe
that's
about
D-Gang
7 or 8
versus
years back.
Chota Rajan and all. That's different. That's gangsters. Okay, ignore me and carry on. So you're saying there is like what underground fighting?
So, it's not really underground. There are, see, if you go to Punjab, there are a lot of boxers out there. Maharashtra has a lot of wrestlers. Down south, we have like a lot of, Kalare Patu guys. So there are
And in
guys
the east, we
sport.
have people playing football. So it's a little different.
No, in fact, some of the top MMA guys have come from the east. So
That's true. That's true.
No, it's because I'm like an idiot interrupting you. I'm not able to understand. So you're saying that the MMA guys, the culture, not MMA, but fighting culture was there. So it's easy
the
to
fighting
source.
culture is there. The fighting culture is there. But I'll tell you what the issue is. The issue is that all of them eventually get into sports to get a government job. They don't really play the sport to actually get medals, So,
Somesh, if you remember this guy, this is one guy, okay? He's 35 years old. His name is Kantharaj Agasa, okay?
Yes.
He is one of the most talented Indian fighters, I would say. Like, I wish he was 10 years younger, because the kind of skills he brings. He's a high-level judoka. He's a judo practitioner. He's won all his MMA fights. He's now finally got a chance to go to the international stage. And he did all this simultaneously with his government 9-to-5 job.
Wow.
And then trained. And if that is not an story of inspiration, I don't know what is.
Not to bring it down, but why are all the UFC guys or fighters have these long names? Kantasar, Agassia, Alexander, unpronounceable, Fido, something I still can't get it right. I mean, no one's called Bunty or Tony or, Arun or Raju. What are those names? It's easy for people like me to get into the sport.
Bharat is then a Bharat.
Bharat is easy. Bharat is. At this present government, it's important to have one Bharat per family. Yeah. Okay. Let's go back. So, Somesh, let me understand. So, you're wide-eyed, you're into this sport, you come back to India, and you're very positive that you're going to find these fighters. And what is Arjun doing at the same time?
I have no idea because I met him much later.
Okay, so your stories are completely different till you meet.
Yeah.
Yes,
This will be a two-part
yes.
program, ladies and gentlemen. It will take a long time. The love story is ek alag track, and then there's the fight story.
So Rupa and Gem Gold will meet later.
We'll meet later after the break ke baad. Sorry, Arjun, you were saying something.
We actually met. Somesh, we met in Bombay at another MMA organization that was doing a show, which was a very big touted show. It had a big card. There had a lot of celebrities coming to it.
Yeah.
So we met at the show and then we connected and we became friends.
Yeah.
And this is all the while since 2013 I've been doing commentary. And we did a couple of seasons in Star Sports, on ESPN, on MTV. So I had been in the sport for a while by then, especially in the Indian MMA circuit.
That's right.
And then I get a call from Mr. Kamara one day saying that, listen, buddy, we're going to be doing a show. Do you want to step in and come and try out? And that was, I think, so much about 2 years ago now.
It was about 2 years back. Yeah.
Yeah, 2 years back, and since then we've been kind of working together.
Okay, but let's quickly understand that you guys are fighters as well. Somesh was saying that he trained. So little fighting.
No, I didn't fight. I train, yes.
Okay, so you didn't fight professionally in that sense, but you trained. No. You actually had the experience of fighting.
To a certain extent, yes. I've had experience of getting beaten up.
Okay, you could put it that way. The point of the matter is that a lot of people will not want to do this, including all the men with the testosterone raging. In the end of the day, you don't actually pound another guy, you get pounded yourself.
You know, the funny thing is there are a lot of I love the community of fighters, the MMA fighters in the world. You know, they are the harshest community, I would say. They are the most critical of any fighter in the world, and we always say this to everybody. I said, just step into the gym one day, and you'll know, because everybody thought they were the hottest shit, and then you get broken down in that one day.
Very
Yeah,
true. Very true.
and sooner or later you're going to get, even if you're good at it, sooner or later you're going to get beaten up, which must be not the funnest thing to do for a job. It's like almost like losing your job if you're in marketing or sales. When you get hammered, people are watching, and, nobody wants to talk to you because you've sort of lost, you're feeling low self-esteem. It's fundamentally, it's like getting hammered, literally, because that's what happens. So I'm just thinking, why would you do it unless you're really the very best? So there must be so many journeymen, so to speak, or people who aren't that good at it, who still keep on doing it. So there's a passion for getting hammered and hammering people.
Yeah, I would think so.
Well, Cyrus, actually, I mean, if you look at it from our side, I think doing that 9 to 5 job is
Impossible.
Is pretty much hammering every single day. And I personally feel that fighting is in our DNA. So there's no
true.
qualms in just trying it out. The moment, see, what the first punch is basically what hurts the most, and after that, it's just.
Exactly.
That's what they said about marriage, but she pounds me so much, and it continues to hurt. Oh, just ask you one question. There's a whole theory which I read online, which of course everything is correct online; it cannot be challenged. And it says that with fighters, not just obviously mixed martial arts will be top of the pile, but even boxing, wrestling, whatever, taking out that testosterone, releasing it in a way, taking out that rage sometimes or whatever, channelizing it, like that's a better word, is actually good. A lot of these people are very balanced after that, because they take out or they store their aggression and aggro, or they over aggro in that one spot, and then the rest of
Absolutely.
their life they're
Very
actually
true.
amongst the nicest people in the world, because they're able to compartmentalize it. Unlike others like me, driving makes me mad. I'm abusing it. I just go on abusing. I can't recognize myself. I mean, the nicest thing I say is "Teri maa ki LUND." I can't even say it now because I'm normal, and that's the kind of language I'm whole.
Come on, Cyrus. If you're driving in Bombay, it's normal to have road rage. Yeah?
That's why you'd become an MMA fighter, I would think. I mean, like, meet me in the ring.
That's how it started. I used to be on a bike and all.
And I don't know if the name is very long, I'd back off, because then he's an MMA fighter. Lakshmi Narayan Sundaram. Okay. Yes, you're right.
No, but the thing is that it's like how Somesh said, now it's in our blood in so many ways. Because if you look at the boxers, a lot of boxers, when we were doing a boxing league a couple of years ago in 2015, 2016, most of the boxers that were picked up were the army guys.
Yeah.
And the army guys who wanted to earn extra money, extra cash.
Right.
And they showed, man, these guys are brutal.
Yeah.
They busted everybody up. And it's like I went in and sparred with some of these guys from, the north. And I'm telling you, my organs were rearranged in the first 2 minutes. These guys, but there is so much of talent. It's the oldest story in the book. It takes time, it takes money, it takes governmental help to build anything. Boxing has a lot of backing in the north.
Yeah.
But as a sport, in general, if you say the budgets for fighting are not as much as, say, other sports would be.
You have things like Pulwama and things happening and the jingoism going crazy.
Yeah.
And you hear armchair critics in Walkeshwar and Nepean Road saying, let's kill them, let's destroy them. I'm thinking sometimes, maybe males need to get it out of their system. Because make all this big talk
Absolutely.
and all this rubbish and chest beating. Sometimes, 5 minutes like you guys said, 2 minutes with a real fighter, and it knocks it out of you. That, you realize that maybe I should stop talking like that. So in a way,
very
it would be
true.
good.
Very true.
Don't you think it would be good if everybody sparred a little bit in their life?
Absolutely.
It was it's very shocking that actually you're saying this, Cyrus, because I was talking to my friend's dad. He's about 70, 71 now, and he was telling me and typically those Nepean Road guys, he was telling me at the ground floor of every building in the early 50s and 60s, they used to have a boxing ring in the building.
Really?
And all the boys used to come there in the evening once or twice in a week and spar.
Where was this? In our
So
bloody
this
Nepean
is-
Road vegetarian only flats. I don't see that happening here. What are you saying?
So this guy was staying. So he stays at Bridge Candy.
Wow, so there was like a mini culture of actual fighting.
Absolutely. So in fact, I just feel that the parents kind of pamper the kids too much nowadays, and they need to get out there, get beaten, fall down, get hurt, scratches, bruises. These things are important, I mean, the more you're covered, the bigger pansy you're going to be.
Yeah,
You don't even see Abadubi played anymore. Like I remember, that was like the MMA version of like the ball hitting you in the face and the back. You come back with bruises. It was fun, dude.
And that was all out in school and all, Abadubi.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
With a cock ball and all.
Yeah.
Thak.
Wow.
Very
Imagine if
true,
they had
very true.
Abadubi in Abu Dhabi. I mean, that would be so tough as a commentator. I mean, I can just see Arjun saying, guys, this is just a sport we play in a Gulf country. Who try that more than twice in an hour?
Abadubi and Abu Dhabi.
Abadubi.
Yeah. See, it's damn tough. Okay, so now tell us about the podcast. So now you guys have come together. Firstly, is it a good market at the moment? I know there'll always be a good market for some males, but is it working in India?
Surprisingly, the sport is attracting about 30% females, if I'm not mistaken.
Wow.
Yeah, and in fact, in 2019, if
Chicks
you see the
hate
BAR,
men. They want to see men pound men. Yeah.
well, maybe they are there for the chicks, because the chicks fighting is even more exciting.
I like the chicks fighting.
Dude,
So-
it's so funny. In the last 5 years, the amount of female role models that have come out, it was with, girls like Misha Tate, Ronda Rousey in the
Amanda
UFC,
Nunes.
and then our own Ritu Phogat, who is fighting at ONE FC, who is representing
Yeah.
India's first Olympian that has gone into MMA,
Yeah.
and is killing it, man.
Now is she doing? Is she winning?
Yes.
Oh, she's hammering
she's
the other
crushing
women.
it.
Yeah. I'm sure. You think she can take Amir Khan?
Easily.
Who? Hang on, the boxer or the actor?
No, not the boxer. That guy's pretty nuts himself. No. The actor, the wrestler. The wrestler.
Acha.
So yeah, so in fact, if you see the 2019 report, there were 100 million people watching the UFC in 2019 alone.
Wow.
Those were the numbers, So in fact, I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy where this sport is going. So when it comes back to the demand, I think the viewership of this particular show is going to skyrocket very, very soon.
But Somesh, you'll need Indian stars, right? Like everything has to have a desi ring to it for it to really become huge. So
True.
Well, that's me.
who's
no?
going to win? Yeah.
Chalo, ho gaya. Show band kar do yaar.
You won this round. Technical knockout. But do we have anyone who can, like you just mentioned, one of the Phogat sisters? Is there anyone who can actually be like the world champion, like or close to that?
So I don't see a reason that it's not going to happen, and in fact,
But
I
in
tell
tennis,
all
we've
the
been
Indian-
waiting for singles champions. Djokovic got 18 Grand Slams on his own, Federer 20, Nadal 20, and we have none. Zero.
So I don't see. Tennis is. I mean, if you really want to play tennis, you have to go through the associations, which is where the issue is. But if you want to get into MMA, these are all private companies. So you just need to have a good manager, some good contacts, and obviously great skills. So I don't see why in the next 3 to 4 years we can't get someone who's going to be a top 5.
In lighter weight groups, we should do well. At least.
Yes, exactly. We already have a couple of good prospects. There are a
Yes.
couple of guys who are coming out. There's a guy from Bombay, Marathi boy called Sumit Khade,
Yes.
who is showing himself in the regional circuit. There are a couple of companies that are doing regional MMA in India and abroad to market Indian fighters.
Right.
And guys like Sumit Khade, Anshul Jubilee, Shrikant Shekhar, there are a bunch of these
Yeah.
guys who are slowly coming out, who've spent their time, who've worked at it, and gone. And due to which I think, by the way, is wrong. There are training facilities in India. There are a couple of gyms that are popping up, but they saw the opportunity, they took it, went abroad, came back. They learned what they had to learn and come back
But
and
are
start
the
their
Indian
own gyms.
coaches also, that infrastructure is one thing, but the coaching and the attitude and all, is that good enough? Or you need a Russian guy to come and push you?
No, it's starting. I think it's starting somewhere. India is actually a great place to start, because if you compare countries like India, Brazil, we have a lot of poverty, a lot of hardship, and there are a lot of people coming from that strata of society. You look at the Brazilians, man, the kind of animals they have, the kind of savages they produce that come to fight. I think it's a matter of time that India will reach that stage. It's coming. It's growing.
Are you telling
the
me,
Brazilians,
Arjun Chipalkatti, that there are no animals on 2 legs in this country? I will tell you. I have a superb way. Listen to my scheming mind. You just get an under 19 champion from Haryana who's 27, and you will be able to become world champion in one discipline, under 19, whatever age group or weight group, and then you go and take it further. We have all that ready. And we also have in Patiala, they always have some foreign coaches who have been pushed out from the Hockey Federation or whatever. The guy can train.
Yeah.
He can train you. Ultimately, it's, training is training. He'll learn the sport as he goes along. Okay, don't take me seriously. I'm wasting your time. We may have to take a break in a couple of minutes. But just one question I want to ask you: is there a unified national MMA in India where you have a national ranking like you have in a tennis, which we mentioned, or badminton, or any of the more conventional sports? So, is there a circuit which follows like a holistic approach and an appellate approach where you go up and up and up in one direction and win the nationals?
So Cyrus, very very good question. In fact, India is a country that doesn't restrict you to any amount of federation. So I think right now
Like America.
yeah, there are probably 10 of them. There are 10 national federations, and each one of them will not let you fight in the other one. So it just
So
it
you're
just comes
national
down.
champion in one, but there are 9 other national champions in the same weight category.
Yes, yes.
So then why can't we have one? But so that how does it work abroad?
That is the $1 million question.
Because everybody wants to be the boss of that particular federation, and honestly, one federation can only have maybe one or two bosses. So what about the other guy from Haryana, as you said? Like, even he wants to be a boss. The guy from Karnataka also wants to be a boss. The guy from
Exactly.
West Bengal also so in fact, the good part is that MMA, as I said, is a private run sport. Most of the big promotions are all privately run, so you don't need to be a part of a federation to get there. You just need to have good skills and a good manager.
So what about the world body? Is there a world body, or is that also fractions and like the football, like boxing, they have 5-6 belts? How does it work?
So actually there is no such thing as a world body. There is a world federation, but you have to go to each country, and that particular country will have to have an affiliation of that federation, and they sanction the event. But when I say sanction, which means they check if the gloves are fine, the fighters are not cheating, mouth guard, the ring is good, the groin guard, and all of that. So apart from the governing part, everything else is privately done.
So there's Alexander, what's his name's brother, the famous Fedora.
Emelianenko.
Emelianenko. I'll learn it. I'm so sorry. It's like the English not getting Muralidharan's name right until he won the test match, and then we all started practicing it. But so then how is he world champion? I mean, how do I know who's the best?
The thing is that back in the day there was an organization called Pride. Pride was one of the biggest organizations in the world at the time.
Isn't that a gay organization?
No, but I would see why you think that. But
I thought,
I
was a card carrying member. I gave that out. Nothing wrong with being gay and a fighter, huh?
So the thing is that in mixed martial arts at the time, there was a limited market. There were only so many people at that time, and guys like Fedor, who were on top of the heavyweight divisions. So there are multiple divisions in boxing. They're the same in MMA, and I think at that time North America had not grown into the sport as much as the East had. Japan I would say, is really where the start happened.
Yes.
Of mixed martial arts, because that's where the fans flocked. It was a time where nobody judged the sport. People were just happy to see the sport. People were happy whether you won or you lost. And Fedor was the greatest because that was called the golden era. It was called the time where people didn't fight for points, and people didn't fight for padded records. People fought because they had to support their families. They didn't have money. They literally fought for money. And they went out there to put on a show. And he was called the baddest man on the planet, because that's exactly what he did. Not only did he win, he put on a show and destroyed everybody.
But what about guys like Colin McGregor and all? Then why is it that some people are more in the spotlight than the others, even though he lost his last 2 matches or whatever? Why does that happen? Then I mean, how do I know who's the Federer, who's the Nadal? How do I know who's the best?
Well, Cyrus, to answer that question, see, the thing is that there is always a marketing angle to fighting. Now, there are some fighters who are excellent inside the cage, but they're not marketable because they don't talk trash. They don't dress well. They don't have the most expensive watches.
You don't have that personality, that external personality
Exactly.
which sells tickets.
Exactly.
Exactly. Like, people want to come and see this gentleman at the press
So we
conference.
don't know who's the best then, because you're all many leagues.
No. I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that.
So
who's the guy
any
who beat Colin McGregor, the guy
Nate
from
Diaz.
Middle East? Yeah.
No. Khabib Nurmagomedov.
Khabib.
Is he the best?
Yes, Khabib is absolutely the best. I'll give him that moniker. He is the champ.
See,
He's
he's the best.
undefeated.
He's the
I'm
best
starting
in
a
that
fight.
weight category.
No, see, in that category, yes. But look, there has always been an argument of who's the pound for pound best. You can
Yeah.
never tell because if today
that's
I'm
fine.
trained and I'm 120 kilos, I can't fight somebody who's 60 kilos and trained equally because the bigger man eventually, yes, I will have a size advantage over him if we're equally trained. Now, but that in his weight division, and if you say, I would go as far as saying in the sport of MMA as a lightweight, yes, he is the greatest of all time.
Wow.
Yes,
Ooh.
undoubtedly.
Okay.
Undoubtedly.
Fair enough. What we'll do is we'll take a quick break, and then when we come back, some interesting things to talk about. The Joe Rogan presence in MMA, and well, it's good publicity for the sport. What do you guys think about him? He's actually
Absolutely. He's awesome.
affiliated with us. He's looking at us to help him boost his ratings. So we have a certain alliance and a job to fulfill. We'll take a quick break. I'll just practice some katas. This is my 1-inch little finger punch, which will now probably
This
hurt
is my
Arjun.
1 inch.
You've heard about it, have you? Huh, Somesh? The legend of
Oh,
the
we've
1
got
inch,
some
but not
fun
the
coming
punch.
We got some contest for Cyrus later.
Yeah, we'll take a break
Yeah.
and then we'll discuss my 1 inch.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another great week on the IVM Podcast Network. If you aren't following us on social media, please do. IVM Podcast on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. We'd like to thank the sponsors on our network this week, Seat Tires. So we had a fantastic week. Tune into This Round is on Me, where Gauri Devidayal has a chat with Divya Ravichandran on the issues of waste management in India and how recycling, composting, and using eco-friendly alternatives can help. On Filter Coffee Podcast, Karthik speaks with Lux Narayan about his book Name, Place, Animal, Thing, an inspiring non-fiction fable about hope, positivity, and living your best life. On All Things Policy, Anirudh Kanisetti talks to Pratik Wakre and Rohan Sheth about Australia's conflict with Facebook and Google and what this means for big tech companies and the news ecosystem. On the Simplified Podcast, Naren and Tony talk about greenwashing, which is businesses unfairly marketing themselves as eco-friendly just to ride the sustainability wave. You should also check out the Cyrus Says episode with Varun Deshpande of the Good Food Institute, where they talk about plant-based alternatives. Varun does a great show with us called Feeding 10 Billion. Do check out this episode of Cyrus Says. They have a really interesting conversation. On The Millennial Athlete, Tanvi and Shlok speak to the badminton doubles player Satvik Sairaj about his successful stints at some of the recently concluded games. And with that, let's get you back to your show.
Follow me at Instagram and Twitter on Bored Brocha. I'm so bored, I need your help. I need your love. I need your touch. Okay, just follow me. Okay, we're back after the break. As we introduce Silvery, here's something more important that I have to do is my wife's painting. She's a very fine painter. She's here. She wants 20,000 rupees for this painting. I think I'm going to say 10 lakhs because I have to push it. And it's a picture of our watchman who's no longer with us. He's now a cabinet minister in the state government, but he won't take my phone
For a
calls.
second, I took it so seriously.
No, but it's really my wife's painting, so I'm going to try and promote her because of COVID, we've lost a lot of money in accounts and all that. So we're trying to get back on our feet, and I'm too old to fight. Besides, I don't mind hitting somebody once, but it just goes on for too long fights.
Dude, what are you saying, Cyrus? Over the years, you look like a power lifter now. You're massive.
I
Yeah,
was
what's the
strong.
reason for the fitness? Yeah, come on. I mean, you're looking huge.
Well, I like to stretch. There's no doubt about that. Today in the morning, this is the problem I have. This is strictly weight training, which is an affiliation of anything but not fighting. The guys come in and the guys stretch for 20 minutes in front of me. 20 minutes. You got like 1 hour to work out. And 20 minutes of stretching pre-working out. What's he going to do after that? He pulled the pulley for 2 minutes and he played with his penis for 5 minutes and he walked out. And I'm like, really? You wake up early, you come here, this is what you do? I never get my head around that, you know?
Oh man.
So I think mentality of urban Indians, maybe not right for MMA yet because we're just too soft, as you said. They just don't come with a rage or a aggression to work out or whatever.
See, you can always spot somebody who like it versus somebody who won't. The first time I stepped into a gym, I remember this is when I was just sparring with some of the guys. And they said, okay, put on the pads, put on everything. And I'm like, arey, kya hoga? Kuch nahi, and all that. And I remember I got cracked blind, which basically means I didn't see it coming. And that's the worst. Mouth was open, everything. My jaw almost got dislocated. Thank God for a mouth guard. And I got popped, tuck, 2 shots. and you start seeing black around the sides of your eyes. That means you're going to get knocked out. You're going to get knocked out. Survive somehow. And it's so
let me ask
important
you-
to go through that.
It's a good point you brought up. We can all, some of us in school only learn to box a little bit.
Yeah.
So if you get into this thing, the first thing is you'll be using your hands, but you don't know what to do with your legs. So when Floyd Mayweather fought Colin McGregor, if it was an all-out legs MMA kind of style, he would have chomped Mayweather.
Maybe.
But see, maybe not. You cannot. I mean, you cannot really judge it because honestly, if Floyd was training in MMA, maybe he would have been a better fighter. You never know.
But you always have this argument saying that, Floyd, it's like Conor, who's been training boxing, can never compete with Floyd, who's been training boxing all his life. Whereas on the same hand, Floyd can't move his body that way because he's conditioned to keep,
And he's a defensive boxer. He just
his
outlasted.
feet under his shoulders.
Yeah.
He keeps it. He
Exactly.
moves in a certain manner. So his hips are not tuned
Exactly,
to it.
the
He
body
can't-
balance is
Correct.
completely different.
Correct.
Oh,
So for
what's
him to
your take?
learn that,
You think a Bruce Lee would have taken on a Muhammad Ali? These are all things that people play around in their mind. They even have video games on it. I'm a huge fan of both, but it's difficult at the end of the day to. Do you think that a martial artist will have that extra advantage because he can use his legs and his genitals?
no, see, sorry, Somesh, go ahead, please.
Well, absolutely yes. See, because the more tools you have, the more you can do. So I definitely feel yes. In case somebody can use his legs or her legs, I think that's the right way to go, and that is definitely a sure shot victory.
Do you know, Somesh, there was a guy around in 2010. There was a super fight. There was a boxer called James Toney had
Of
come
course,
into
yeah.
the UFC to
Fought Mike
take on
Tyson, yeah.
take on a guy called Randy Couture, who was a 45-year-old veteran of the sport, and he just took him down and pounded him out because those are the rules. So a boxer of that stature came in and got beaten up by an MMA fighter. But if the tables were turned and Randy was to go to a boxing ring, that's probably the same thing that would happen. Randy might have get
If
knocked
he only
out.
uses his hands, he's handicapped. But at the end of the day,
Yeah.
because you can
Yeah.
use everything, you have that advantage.
Correct.
So
Yes.
what's your take on Bruce Lee versus Muhammad Ali? Nobody's giving me a call.
No,
About
sorry,
5'5" and 6'3", and the reach and the height and the weight. 140 pounds versus 220 pounds.
Stalemate.
Well, I would definitely go in for Muhammad Ali.
Dude, I love Ali, but I don't know yet.
Well, he was
You know
also
why?
very fast for a heavyweight, wasn't he? I mean, the speed of his
Very
hands.
He's super
And he
fast.
adapts to different styles. But then Bruce Lee is Bruce Lee.
Bruce Lee.
See, but we've never seen Bruce Lee fighting. He's always been a movie
If
guy.
he gets the space to maneuver, if you see I don't know how it works in MMA, but they get more space in the fights that they do in gymnasiums. That allows him to go 360 degrees, which allows him to attack and weave. As against in a ring, maybe Muhammad Ali will have more of an advantage.
It's hard. It's hard to.
Nobody
it's hard
wants to
say.
put their house on this one, huh? Okay, fair enough. Also,
If you had to give me an option saying, okay, chalo, Mike Tyson versus Ali, in both their primes, that would be a much more even contest.
yeah, but I would think if Tyson doesn't win in the first 2 rounds, it's over. Because Ali is never going to lose after that. The longer the.
Ali's
the-
had a problem with hard punchers. in
But the hard
past.
punching of Mike Tyson doesn't have a record after 3-4. It's very tough. That's what I think. But anyway, maybe you're right.
Well,
Tyson just went 12 rounds with.
See, Ali wouldn't fight. Ali would just keep him away. Round 1, round 2, just keep him away. That was his style.
True. Could be.
Oh, good. We're having a serious discussion. The jokes have gone. What the hell? We're exposed as boxing lovers. Yeah.
well, if it doesn't get over in the first or second round, then Muhammad Ali's year is definitely gone.
That's why Tyson only texts Evander Holyfield. Never calls him up.
Oh, by the way,
Okay, guys.
you guys should
Yeah.
know that I think in 2018, the tournament that I met Arjun, we had got down Mike Tyson, to Bombay.
Oh, yes.
Mike Tyson was here.
I
But
was
he's a
yelling-
different man mentally than he was then. If you see his
absolutely, yes.
I mean,
absolutely.
that savage, because he needed to be that savage, aggressive
Yeah.
barbarian who says, I'll eat your children and all
Yes,
that.
yes.
When he was in his prime, that person is not there. So the mental aspect is huge, is it not?
No, I mean, he's a completely different person. So when I was sitting with him, he was like, "Oh, we need to do good for the world. We need to donate. We need to give money. Like grow these."
Hate to use the example, but it's like King Ashok,
Yeah.
after the slaughter of Kalinga.
Yeah.
Some people go through a complete, they go from one extreme to
Absolutely.
another extreme.
Absolutely.
And then, what we really admire, and it's sad to say this, is the brutal Mike Tyson.
yeah.
With due
No, but
respect,
no,
we like the fact that he's changed into a better human being and all that, but as kids growing up, we wanted that guy to come in.
Absolutely.
You know what I liked, Arjun, about Mike Tyson, and I'm not saying that's me, but there's no frills.
Yeah.
He would wear that black thing. There's no major music. He would just do this shake with his leg. And the other boxer has got 7 girls dancing, and he's rapping, and he's playing with his hands, and he's slapping the fans. This guy just walked in, 2 touches with the neck. The black thing comes off, and he goes for you.
Yeah.
It's like taking the leash of the Rottweiler and saying kill. That's it.
Yeah.
Mike was one of the most scariest serious fighters in the world. When he looked at you, when he stared down at you, it's the intimidation factor.
Wow,
which
really?
Somesh and I talk about this for the longest time. It's a lot of fighters in the yesteryears, even in MMA, in any form of sport, is a lot of the mental games that boxers and fighters played with their opponents.
Yeah.
That stare, that the grunt of the first throw, everything was to break you mentally.
But I'll tell you what, I personally feel they did it because they just had to do it, and it was them naturally. It was no show. It was no. There was no
I think Mike
flamboyance.
Tyson, what you saw is what you got. He was just a ruthless killer. He was the best killer in the business. He wanted to kill.
Absolutely.
He didn't want to think about dancing and singing and holding hands and wearing floral clothes.
yeah.
He just took the damn shirt off and said, let's fight.
Yeah.
No, I gotta say, but one of the greatest fighters in MMA is a guy called Anderson the Spider Silva, and this guy danced his way in the earlier days. He's a great dancer. He used to copy Michael Jackson.
I'm not saying there are 10 ways to skin the cat and all that. I'm not saying that. I just said I really like the guy. He reminds me of Viv Richards.
Absolutely.
Viv Richards would walk in and eyeball, say Imran Khan bowling to him.
Right.
There's it was like, I'm here to bat. I'm not here to do anything else.
That's true.
Right.
He had the
I like
intimidation
that.
tactics were incredible.
Yeah.
The intimidation
He
tactics
just
were
cut
incredible.
the frills
He just
aside
looked
and
at
the
you.
tunnel vision was there. And I'm not saying it's the only way.
Yeah.
I mean, Cassius
Absolutely.
Clay was completely not that, and maybe the greatest of all time. We don't know.
Absolutely. No, Tyson was just scary.
What a
in
nice
his prime.
discussion we're having. I'm going to cancel my stupid, boring podcast. I want to be on court. Brought to you on IBM Podcast. Yeah.
And the fact
By
is,
Arjun and Arjun and Sumesh.
and-
Yeah, the fat guy.
and the fact that he grows weed now is even better. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a licensed business.
Exactly.
So, he's the only guy who's gone into weed as a step down from his career. Everybody else has gone up. Yeah. Okay, guys, listen, a quick word on Joe Rogan. I want to bring Silvery in. As we talk about Rogan, he's also a big fan. Silvery, can you come in?
Hello.
Before we go into AMAs, what role do people like Rogan play? He always pushes, he's a huge name in the world of podcasting. He's the biggest, he's the granddaddy. We all have his picture somewhere. Now my wife's painting is there, so maybe that is Joe Rogan, Indian version.
You have a tattoo on the chest, Cyrus. Don't lie.
Yeah, I do. I just want his deal with Spotify. Give me that. I don't want anything else. But he's always pushing the agenda for MMAs and fighters, and he plays his role, I'm sure, because of his publicity generating thing and all that.
Yeah.
And he's quite frank about those who, for example, transgenders fighting or people fighting the women's division who are not
Fallon
really
Fox.
women. And then I
Fallon
saw
Fox,
I can't remember
that.
names, me, but I saw the fight and the woman looked very shouldery and
Cyrus, he's right. There's nothing. See, that's the thing. His argument is very potent. He just said, if you were born a man, you went through puberty as a man, and then you transition, you are essentially a man.
Yeah.
Because your arms are
wrist,
bigger, your
the
wrist is
the
thicker,
arms,
your bone
upper body
density
strength is like double of a woman's.
is different.
Generally speaking, for average man. So
Correct. It's different. So he's absolutely right when he said
So
that.
we should
And I
have
love the
3
fact that-
categories. We should have male, female, and whatever the hell you want to be.
Maybe in the future.
Maybe I can win that one.
But I got to give it to Rogan because he says it like it is. He speaks his mind, and he's not worried about backlash.
Yeah.
He just isn't.
He also fights. He
But he's
fights.
high on weed, so that's fine.
Oh, he's weed. I don't know what he likes more, MMA or weed. Maybe both at the same time.
Combined.
Yeah.
Now he's in Austin, Texas. It's not yet legalized there, right?
Oh, really?
But who's going to say anything
Yeah.
to him?
Why is he in Austin, Texas?
Oh, he moved from California. Yeah.
Oh, because of the COVID thing.
No.
Yeah,
No, because of the
COVID thing.
expenses.
Because California was dying. LA was basically, all the taxes and all.
Because he may have supported Donald Trump towards the end. His views can go right. Huh? And suddenly, I do appreciate he is left mostly and then suddenly right. And I guess that's okay.
A lot of fighters supported Donald Trump, to be honest.
Yeah.
Including the colored
Lot
ones.
of fighters.
The Mexican fighters said no, bro. no,
No,
I'm fat, bro.
Masvidal supported him. Kumaru Usman
No,
supported
Dana
him.
White. Dana White.
Dana White supported him. So he had a lot of support from the fight.
I think they
community.
just think that Donald Trump is the kind of guy you'll see at the MGM Palace or whatever, watching fights, and not so much Joe Biden, who will probably be the guy who will help you heal when you exit. Become here, beta. Let me hug you.
Well,
That sounds creepy.
Donald Trump was an investor in, I think, Affliction and Strikeforce. So he was an MMA promoter.
There was another, yeah.
He
another
was
company.
also at all the, when he was more socialite or whatever you want to call him,
Yeah.
the old days. He was a fixture at all the MGM Grand and all the the stadiums where the heavyweight boxing took place.
Yeah, because he used to
The
host
big
them.
names.
He used to host them at Trump Taj Mahal in Atlanta.
But he's
God,
notorious for not paying any money. He probably just gave them hamburgers. that was his thing. Yeah. I think there's no reason you can't be cheap and successful.
Yeah.
That's my mantra. Okay, guys, are we ready for the AMAs? Anything else you want to say about the show? So the show is just discussing. It's everything.
Yeah, actually, so the thing is, the Fighting Goat is all about MMA. It's all about boxing. It's about kickboxing, Muay Thai, anything basically to do with combat sports and the like. And Somesh and I have been talking about this for the longest time, and we decided to come together because we do our show on Sony where we talk about fighting, but we just want to bring out a lighter side to it, where it's, we're talking about the fighting, we're going to talk about things that are technical, but at the same time, we want to appeal to everybody for the sport.
Well, it's also to do with the sport promotion, getting on fighters, or having some cool giveaways, just kind of being little more interactive, because once we're on TV, we only have, say, 30 seconds, 45 seconds to speak. It's a very, very tight schedule. But here on the podcast, I think we can make it lighter. We can have more fun. We can give a lot more
Yes.
information, show some
So
techniques.
you want to basically prostitute yourself, which is what I'm doing.
Yes.
Sell your wife's paintings and
Yes.
just
No,
make
but
sure.
we've got a cool segment called Team Chips versus Team Kamra,
Yeah.
where we make our predictions for the fights.
Yeah.
And if either one of us, if I lose, Sumesh gets to punch
Hey,
me.
Chips,
If he loses,
you'll get all the sponsorship. His surname is Kamra. What are you worried about? Team Chips, Central Government Directive, support Team Chips, destroy Kamra. Sir, वो same नहीं है. वो जाने दो banker, destroy him.
no. So, but the thing is that if both of us are wrong, then Cyrus Brosha gets to hit
Yeah.
us.
Whoa.
And if we are both right, then we get to hit you.
So in one case you'll feel nothing, so don't worry. I can't even raise
But
my
we're
arm.
scared of the 1-inch punch,
Yeah. I love that 1-inch punch. I've been following it from the 80s, and I just can't do it. Just stand there, get the body, whatever. Apparently, it comes from the abdomen area, the X area of your, the power, the ching chang coming together, whatever it is, and boom. But have you ever managed? Because
Yes.
it actually made people move. Just that 1-inch contact, and the person, they're not acting; they go back. How do you
we did
generate
that,
that power?
We used to do this fun board breaking exercise
Yeah.
when I was doing a show with Facebook, and we would do this, and we would add more and more boards to see if we can do it.
So how far is the momentum?
It's just this much.
And you broke it?
Yeah, but only one board.
Okay,
After
that's
that, it was
something.
gone. I was like,
Now all our listeners are going to spend the whole day breaking
boards and-
Mother is asking, what are you doing? Just give me 2 minutes. Start.
Yeah. There's this table. I have to break this table
Breaking
today.
boards. No, I
But-
personally
but-
have never tried that.
No, but I
it's
understand.
super fun.
It's like, hitting your deadlift max and all that. I understand. When you do that, there must be a sense of, you can't explain to other people who don't actually empathize.
Yeah.
It's a small thing in your small world, but it's something. You just feel like a beast. Do you not?
Yeah.
When
Yeah,
you
for
break it.
for those 30 seconds, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So that is the intangible product of this whole thing, which we can't explain to other people unless they try it.
Right.
So please, peace and love to everybody, but break boards.
Yeah.
As many as you can. You're walking, you see a board, you say, Auntie, give it to me 1 second. Okay, let's go to the AMA, Sylvie. These boys are
Alright.
talking and talking.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Firstly, before we start the AMAs, please like the stream, folks. Everyone who's watching, please like. Please subscribe to the channel and
And learn MMA or learn mixed martial arts, the basics from Somesh and Arjun.
Yes,
You can
done.
join Team Kamra or Team Chips. And the rates are not very high at the
Yeah.
moment.
And the fighting goat starts tomorrow, so please do tune into
Yes.
that as well.
The fighting goat
So,
will
yes.
be born tomorrow. Happy birthday, guys.
Thank you
Thank
so
you
much.
so
Thank
much.
you
It
so
will
much.
be March
Thank
the
you.
3rd. A good date.
Yeah.
March 7th is Viv Richards' birthday, so that's a very, I don't do work on that day.
Also, I'm supposed to tell you guys to rate us on Google Podcasts and Apple Podcasts. So
No,
please
don't
remember
do
to
that.
do that.
The
Oh,
ratings,
definitely
the
do that.
ratings will be lower than anything ever. Never do that. Can't you unask that question? How do you unask? Use technology. Remove it.
Okay, so yes, please do that. So the first AMA question comes in from Abhijit. He says, do you guys think that the UFC underutilized the Diaz brothers? And do you think Nick Diaz will ever return to the octagon? Hardcore
Wow.
Nate Diaz fan myself.
What
Abhijit
is
says.
Super great
underutilized
question.
means? As in, didn't let them fight enough.
Didn't let him fight enough. Somesh, you want to take this, or I'll go ahead?
So I think we should take it part by part because it's such a lengthy answer.
You take one brother, he takes one brother.
Chalo. Done.
So
Chalo.
see, typically what happens now, once you reach that extreme elite level of fighting, it's the fighter that decides when he or she wants to fight. And because we know, the background of Nate and Nick Diaz, they are again always on marijuana and they have a different, very, very different lifestyle. They lead a very hippie lifestyle. It's more of them wanting to fight rather than the other way around. So they call the UFC and say, listen, we are ready in the next 6 months. If you think you have something, give us a shout. So that's the way it works.
So they don't. They just go off the trail.
Absolutely.
Yeah. See, the thing is that I would love to see them both.
These two guys, I'm saying, these two guys. I'm not,
Nate, both Nate and Nick are some of the grittiest, toughest SOBs I've ever seen in the sport. And they don't back down from anybody.
Yeah.
They don't care who you are, what weight division you are in. And they don't care. They'll fight you on 5 days' notice. Nate Diaz woke up off his couch in 10 days, beat and shocked the world against Conor McGregor.
Yeah.
That's how, you can't forget
Are
how
you telling
good
me he
they
trained
also
for only
are.
10 days for that fight?
Yes.
He
yes.
only
I
trained
can't
for
believe
10
that.
days
Yeah,
for
yeah.
that.
I can't
Yes.
believe that because you got to be match ready mentally and all that. In just 10 days, he turned up in
But
one.
he's that mentality.
Yeah.
They're crazy. They've got that
Yeah.
mentality. They're fighters first, not athletes.
Yes.
Or he just hates Colin McGregor so much that it was easy.
Oh, that also.
He does.
Okay, that answers the question. They pick and choose, bro,
Also,
and then they lie low. Yeah.
I think there was a second part of the question whether Nick Diaz will be back, right?
Huh.
Yeah, we hope so.
So-
I really honestly think.
I'm assuming he would come back. I'm assuming this year he would come back.
Fingers
But
crossed.
Somesh, isn't that also the beautiful part of the sport, the romantic element in the sport, that you have people who are so unconventional that they say, okay, I don't feel like it.
Absolutely.
But then I do feel like it.
Absolutely,
I
yes.
mean,
in fact,
they're
this
the real artists.
this is the breed of fighters that we're missing because the newer crop,
Oh,
newer crop are very planned. They're like, I want to fight
Too
thrice.
clinical. I agree with
I
you.
want to fight thrice in a year. I want to earn $2 million a year. I want to be a big star.
Somesh, today's Bollywood actors versus yesterday's Bollywood actors, they were
Absolutely.
rock stars.
Absolutely.
Drank themselves silly,
Absolutely.
turned up at the wrong time, wrong place. But there was some romance to their madness.
One sec.
Now they're so perfect.
That's such a beautiful way of putting it. The romance to the madness.
Yeah.
And
I-
the thing is, Somesh and I are those kind of fans that was like, just bleed first. Like Khun
Yeah.
khao. Mara Mari. It started like that, but then it evolved into what it
One
is
sec,
today.
let's be honest. Tell me that once you go in your car, who doesn't listen to Jhanjhariya and the old Akhiyon Se Goli Mare? Who?
Oh,
Yeah,
man,
of course.
come on.
Who cares about the new shit? The old shit was real. What is happening right now is very clinical, very planned, too perfect. There needs to be an element of madness.
Professionalism kills the breed. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree with you totally. I mean, your stories of Dharmender or Rishi Kapoor are far more fascinating than, with due respect,
Dude, Govinda.
Ranbir Kapoor is a great guy, but he's a straight up sort of guy.
Dude,
One
Govinda was the greatest person I've met in my life.
Jackie Shroff.
Institutionalized is the word that comes to mind immediately.
No, dude, no. Govinda was one of the greatest people I met. I remember I met him at a fight party.
Knuts. K-N-U-T-S.
He told me the greatest joke ever. He told me the greatest joke ever. I said, Govinda, joke bolna. And then he was like, he's like, I was in a bus braked hard. I pushed the guy in front of me. Guy turns around and says, dhakka kyun diya? Govinda says, tune liya kya? I'm like, who cracks jokes like this anymore, man?
Oh,
That
wow.
was the best.
You know what?
There's no comeback from Govinda's wit.
You know what there was? I think there was a time where Jackie Shroff and Tiger Shroff had come on the Kapil Sharma show, and the
Yeah.
fans only and only spoke to Jackie Shroff. Because it's just how real,
See,
how
Tiger's
raw
a
he
lovely
was.
guy. You're right. Tiger's a lovely guy. Let's not disrespect the kids. They're all
No,
great.
he's too
But
docile. He's too.
It's not docile. He comes from another world. He's just too correct.
Yeah.
But Bidu will just
maybe.
say anything, and they'll be like, oh bro, one more take, wo nahi bol sakta. But that's the fun. That's the charm because Bidu is that he's that about to explode anytime situation.
Absolutely.
Which is fun for all of
That
us.
is-
Yeah, I agree with
you
you.
know-
I feel a lot, and not just in your sport. In all sports, it's just become too professional.
That is why I hate the review system in all sports. It should not be there.
Yeah.
There needs to be an
Yeah.
element of
Nothing
luck.
left to chance. Fair enough. I agree with you.
So
True.
yeah, so that needs to be there.
Let one team suffer. What the hell does it make? Yeah, he was offside. Who gives a fuck? The goal is scored. We won.
Steve Buckner, dude. Steve Buckner. Come on. He ruined us. Yeah.
Yeah, my
Slowest
God.
of death.
My God.
That
We'd have won, what,
hand
5
going
test
up.
matches more at least? Yeah. Oh, I still prefer our old umpires from India who used to do the half one, no, where they put the nose, finger. On the nose. I mean, that's you talk about bakra. That's I mean, the guy's career's at stake. You know, the bowler's like, yes, finally, and then bowler's like, what? Dropped from the Indian team, relegated to Duleep Trophy, never heard of again. Ouch. All right, next question, bro. 10:51.
Yeah, next question comes in from Harvesh Kasad. He asks, how difficult is it to
Let's have him
promote
on the show. He's talking to us every day.
Yeah, I talk to us every
Put him
day.
on direct.
Harvesh, thank you, Harvesh. How difficult is it to promote a combat sport in a country madly obsessed with cricket? Not that it's cricket's fault, but what kind of challenges does this
These
But
questions
why
are
would
on
they clash?
point, man.
Why would
so
they clash?
good. These questions are so on point. I gotta give. It's incredible.
sarcastic,
It's
No,
no, dude. It's.
But I would watch
perfect.
both. Arjun, I would watch
No,
both.
the thing is, it's so funny when Rajkunda started it in 2012 in India, he had to fuse it with the Bollywood aspect because nobody. There was a big presence, a huge presence of Bollywood. That there was a whole show and dance and everything, and the slogan was "Come for the show, stay for the fights." That was the initial slogan.
Imagine Colin McGregor and Khatib watching Shilpa dance and item number. They'll start hitting each other. I mean, they're hitting themselves.
No, but I think that was needed when the sport began. But now I think it's reached a point where it's starting to move of its own volition. It's starting to get there slowly. I'm not saying it doesn't need the help, but it's moving forward.
But is cricket killing it? Is that a fair argument?
I have a different take on this. See, because most of the good shows in the US happen, anywhere from 8 p.m. to about 10 p.m. So it comes on Indian TV between 6 a.m. and 8 a.m. So in fact, there is a lot of room for other sports. However, see, cricket is like a 100-year-old tradition in India. No one is touching it. But come on, look at the rise of kabaddi. The fact that Sony has put up a separate show for the UFC.
That's true.
The fact that IVM has agreed to do
Paddy has done well. Not
Absolutely.
too badly. The badminton Premier League.
Absolutely yes. So in fact, kabaddi, has done really well. Badminton has done well. And again, see,
ISL is surviving.
ISL could do a lot more, but I don't know. Some of they've just not picked up steam. Like for some reason.
They began well and plateaued a little
Very
bit.
true.
I think you're right,
And the fact that IVM has agreed to do this show just shows the fact
Absolutely.
that this sport has to go up. The only way is up.
No, very true. It's the fact that the fact that there are windows, the doors are opening slowly. Sony opened the door for us 2 years ago, and then now, with like Somesh said, IVM is stepping in to do a exclusive fight-only podcast called The Fighting Goat.
Yeah.
I've got a solution,
forward.
guys. A very simple one. If Rohit fights Virat, if Ishan Kishan fights Rishabh, we just get the right people to fight from the same.
That's a damn
discipline
good
in
idea.
cricket. I think we can. Ishan fighting Mohammad Shami. I mean, I can see a good scraps happening here.
In fact, we had Pratik Babbar on our show, I think a few weeks back, and he said that, he said, I challenge Varun Dhawan to an MMA fight.
Oh, that would be amazing.
Why?
Just celebrity matchup.
Because he didn't get the banyan ad.
It's like, remember Cyrus back in the celebrity death match that used to happen?
But it makes sense. You use the celebrities in tennis, in cricket, everything. They come and play something.
Yeah.
The standard may not be great, but I'm saying, come on, if Rohit and Sharma and Virat Kohli are going, hammer and tongs, who wouldn't watch it?
Absolutely.
But
Why not?
Only exhibition match, not
Chiteshwar
actual.
Pujara versus Ajinkya Rahane. A fight to the finish. Death at its doorstep.
Agarkar versus Prasad. That would be
Okay. Prasad is 6'5".
old school versus new school.
I've worked with Agarkar. He's a strong guy for his size, but
dude.
Prasad is 6'5". I don't know. You guys mentioned it's a little too big.
But it'll be the same thing. It's like Khabib fighting everybody else. Khabib is shorter.
Yeah.
So,
But Conor McGregor is almost the same height. Now, what is the difference?
Like about
3-4 inches.
Like about 5'9", 5'10".
Yeah, Conor is 5'9", 5'10".
And
Whereas
Khabib?
Diaz is 6'2" when he fought him.
Yeah.
6'2". Wow.
Yeah.
Excellent. What about Lok Sabha MPs versus Rajya Sabha MPs?
I
got
know
some
what?
names.
We would.
That's a question.
We would
That's a
love
question.
that. We would love that. Imagine BJP versus Congress.
Yeah, at the moment, I think Congress will need some support. I may have to fight for them. Kamra may have to turn up, but he's lost weight.
It depends on what rules they employ.
Yeah.
If they have the unified rules, maybe. But if they have the old pride rules, then absolutely.
You think if Rahul Gandhi and Yogi Adityanath went head to head, who'd win? Rahul's
I am
very
staying
fit.
away from this
I'll
conversation.
tell you why. Rahul's very fit. He benches decently. He squats a bit. He runs. He cycles. I don't know about Yogi's health plan.
It all
But
depends
he's
on
got the
Rahul
inner
Gandhi's
fighting
strength.
spirit. Yogi's got the fighting spirit because he's that, come from nowhere kind of politician. So would you predict?
Well,
So you got a guy who's training, but the hunger seems to be with the other guy. Who wins then?
well, it's more of like some kind of Ayurvedic power with Yogi. So I would go with Yogi.
You're just scared. What kind of fighter are you? I say
No,
draw.
I'm in Rahul Gandhi's.
You want to be safe? Say draw. I say
Draw,
draw.
draw. नहीं मैंने तो पहले ही बोल दिया. I'm not betting. I'm not saying anything.
Yeah, you just support the one and only Kamra who's on the other side. Silvery, can we squeeze one more? I know it's
Yes.
11, but we've been talking
Yep.
so much we didn't get.
Yeah.
Huh.
One more. This one was actually just similar to what we were just talking about. Kashin Shetty asks, good morning all. I had a thought. Instead of elections and voting, what if politicians were elected via boxing matches? Winner gets a seat in the parliament. Sounds good.
Yeah, but
I
there'll still be
I would love that.
incredible.
I would
there'll
love
still
that.
be cheating, no?
Yeah, there
You'll
will, but
fix
there
the
will
match
always
and-
yeah, there
Yeah.
will always somebody calling foul.
No, no.
And match fixing with the referee.
No, we should only have
I'm
knockouts.
saying your
something.
opponent is in Eagleton Resorts overnight. What the hell? How did that happen? You're there waiting to fight. मैंने कुछ नहीं किया. I'm innocent, my lord. He's in Eagleton.
No.
That's gonna happen.
Only knockouts.
Only, no, not only knockouts.
This could go on
man,
for
come
days. Huh?
Submissions,
Some of the
man.
older guys, I mean, just think about them. Oof.
Well,
Achyutanandan in his prime, 90 plus batting. I mean, how long is that going to take? Yeah, Mia beta, stand still. Stand still. Okay, be careful, guys.
Sir, leg stump, leg stump.
Leg guard.
Oh God,
Okay,
I can't
guys.
even. I'm
This
not
has
even
been
going there.
fantastic. All right, I think we can wrap it up here. But thank you again. And the show
Thank you
releases
so much.
tomorrow. We're all very excited. Arjun, Somesh,
Thank
I'm
you.
sure it's going to rock. This is one of the most exciting podcasts. I was actually awake through it. Normally, I fall asleep by the 27th minute. So, good stuff. But Silvery is raising his hand like a third
just,
umpire.
Present,
just
sir.
a reminder. Just a reminder, please do like the stream and please do review us on Google Podcasts and Apple Podcasts. And please do check out The Fighting Goat tomorrow. Thank you so much.
Yes,
And
the
please,
fighting
and
goat.
please check
starting
out my
tomorrow,
wife's
baby.
paintings as we end the show. There's another. She's bringing in another painting. Can you see
Oh,
it?
wow, this one is
Yeah,
framed.
bring closer.
Very
Bring
nice.
closer,
Wow,
bring
that's-
closer.
Wow, this is fully framed and all.
Yeah, fully framed. So yeah, the money that we make out of the paintings will go to my favorite NGO, my mom. All right,
Absolutely.
Khatib, I'm coming for you, boy. I'm coming for you. Yeah. All right, greatest of all time starts tomorrow. Please watch it. Till then, it's bye bye from me and Somesh and Arjun and Silvery.
Thank you
Thanks,
so
Cyrus.
Bye bye, guys.
Thanks, guys.
See you.
Thanks, Cyrus.
Cheers.
Thanks,
Ciao.
Sylvie.
Our pleasure. Okay, catch us on any of the podcasting apps, please. We beg you, we need you. Send us your questions on Twitter on Cyrus Says In, or you can email us, even if you're not female, on whatcyrussays@gmail.com.
Hey, I'm Zarina, your peak performance coach, leadership coach, and life coach. And I'm here to unleash that power within you with your weekly dose of mantras and empowerment. Tune in to Monday Mantras every Monday for your quick fix and the Empowering series with Zarina Poonawalla every Thursday for riveting real-life stories. You can catch us on the IVM Podcast website, app, or wherever you get your podcasts from.
2020 is a difficult year. A global pandemic, protests, elections, recessions. You get the picture. What we need is a space where we can have nuanced discussions about global affairs and foreign policy. That's where I come in. My name is Hamsini Hariharan and I host the States of Anarchy podcast. Every second Tuesday, I speak to experts in the field of international relations to make a little more sense of the world. So join me on the IVM podcast app, website, or wherever you're listening to me right now.